Racing on Thursday takes place out at the Vaal. We've got 8 races on the program, and it is race number 1 that will be the start of the bipod at 12:25. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. And Alistair, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Raheel. It's the first meeting of the week on the half belt this week after the marathon of Turffontein last week. First time we visited for the Vaal for a while. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, the big attraction this weekend is the start of the Cape Summer Festival of Racing, which will be at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday, which will be a small field in the Cape Punters Cup, which is obviously a pity, but it's very good racing all the same. So, yeah, it should be good fun, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling this week at the Vaal on Thursday for what looks like a bit of a trappy card. Some of the usual suspects go around.
Yeah, well, let's get straight into it. The first race on the program is the Work Riders Maiden Plate for fillies and mares. Number 10, My One and Only, is your favourite at 9 to 10, 28 to 10, Blazing Beauty. It's 8 to 1, Bilingual, Panthera Uncia, 10 to 1, and Better Bar Those. Now, this filly, My One and Only, she gets the 1.5 kgs off the back, courtesy of this Work Rider. Not too familiar with this Work Rider, but you can tell us more. And this daughter of Actor War, she's held in high regard by Byron Bortus. I remember when she made her debut, Byron said that he thinks she could be hard to beat, and she's a filly that's been working with Quid Pro Quo since the start of their careers. And yeah, I think he's been a bit disappointed with the first 2 starts, given that she hasn't managed to win. But this looks to be the ideal opportunity for her to win if she's got the ability that they believe she has.
Yeah, that's the story with My One and Only. Obviously, the talk was ripe about what she was doing at work before she ran. And here she is in a Work Riders Maiden. And it's Savannah Valjallo. I know her well. I'm good friends with her father, Clint. He plays a lot of golf with us, sort of owners, jockeys, trainers up on the half belts. And Clint, one of the owners that's very much part of it all. So I know Savannah, that's obviously the daughter, and takes her out at number 10, My One and Only, who does set a pretty strong standard. I thought her debut run at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, despite the expectations being high that she could win, I thought that was a good run, considering Destiny of Fire was an unlucky loser about 2 weeks earlier at Turffontein. I think her first run on the half felt that's traditionally a very strong maiden, that takes place on Allied Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile Day. Fastnet Filly came across and won that day. There were tons of scratching, so that may have just cut the field down, but it was also Barnes' first runner back on the half belt. I think you could excuse that, and I think that she'll take a big step forward, and easily the one that they all need to beat, with the bipod being my suggested bet. My backup, funny enough, comes from the stable companion, although very well held by number 10, My One and Only. I think number 6, Panthera Uncia, the daughter of Dan on Platina, has some sort of claims dropping back to 1,000 meters. It's the first time she's over 1,000 meters. She's got a lot of cheap speed, and Chamo Mabai is one of those evergreen Work Riders who gets a tune out of horses. She's held. It's 2-0 to My One and Only, but that's over the extended trip, and I think that if ever there's an opportunity, probably the only time ever that Panthera Uncia has a chance of turning over My One and Only, and probably her best chance of getting out of a maiden in a very, very weak field yet, this could be it. So I'm not for one moment motivating that she is a top choice. She isn't. My top choice is family number 10, My One and Only, but I do suspect that Boertjes could run 1-2 here and take an early opportunity to double up in the bipod, which, as mentioned, is my suggested bet. Just before we go any further, just take note of the false rail configuration. High number draws down the straight. That looks like where you need to focus, with the outside rail set at 0.
Moving along to race number 2 next. This is a maiden plate over the 1,000 meter trip, and the second race is the start of the place accumulator, 1 o'clock, the off time. Favorite number 5, Bourbon Reserve, even money, 16 to 10, Tiger Storm, 5 to 2, number 7, Green Cherry, it's in 20 to 1. And Better Bar Those. Now, this horse, Bourbon Reserve, he ran a cracker last time out, just touched off behind Quasi Cat. There's been a winner from the form line. Calvin Abib takes a ride for Sean Terry. And Alistair, this horse could well be very hard to beat, and a banker in the first leg of the PA.
Absolute banker, Raheel. The scratchings help. Hemisphere comes out. Montana Lights, a winner the other day, also comes out. I don't see any troubles. The only trouble that might be in store could be from Lucky Hudalakis' first time, number 7, Green Cherry, under Chase Morjan with an outside draw. But I know the family quite well. There's a lot of stamina in that family, so I wouldn't suspect that this horse can win over 1,000 meters. It's a weak field, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him run a very good race, probably in defeat, likely second. But number 5 Bourbon Reserve just sets a very, very high standard. First run back from a rest, it was an excellent effort, likely to have needed the run. Tarry, like I say on the show, has very much turned the taps now for the season. You can expect good things going forward. This is when he really comes to life. As you mentioned, the last form line behind KwaZulu-Natal has been franked already, and I just think Bourbon Reserve is going to take a big step forward. I think he's got more class than certainly any of the other race runners in the race, and I think that he'll take all the beating. And it's nice to see Calvin Habib getting a few chances again from Sean Terry. The horse that came out and won was the horse who ran 5th, Bus Stop in Hounslow, was about 3.5 lengths behind Bourbon Reserve, and then there's also Tiger Storm. Reopposes, and I can't see Tiger Storm suddenly turning that form around. So banker in all bets, and I'd venture to say the best bet on the card, number 5 Bourbon Reserve.
Yeah, all in. Bourbon Reserve, race 2. Race number 3, start off the pick 6, 2,000 meters. The distance, it's a maiden plate, 13:35 is the off time. And in the third race, scratched is number 3, The Merciful. Santiago's Pride is a favorite here at 2-1. Another Universe at 3-1. 5-1, number 9, Snow Moon. It's 6-1, Moment. It's then 8-1. And Better Ball those. Alistair, this was Pyro Edition. He keeps me interested. I think at 8-1, he could offer some nice value and could be a potential big improvement. The Corey Lensley yard have hit form, and Cabello Martignani is riding at the top of his game. So I think that this horse could be open to a lot of improvement here.
I agree with you. He's not my top choice, but he's very much in my buy pot, and I've spread it wide. I've even got the scratching lurking around here just to try and potentially double up if the favourite were to run into the first 2. But I agree. I think of the 5 horses I've got in, -1 with the scratching, I think Pyro Edition probably does represent the value, especially just stepping up in distance again to 2,000 metres. His debut over a mile was potentially a signal of what Corey Lensley expected of him. Not many of the Erupts get a trip, despite Erupt being a proficient long-distance horse in Europe, but this horse has got the attributes of being a horse that can go over a trip, and with the headgear now equipped, I agree. I think that he's a live chance. His last run was a trifle disappointing, but he's obviously better than that. His debut shows that he was probably set up to step forward from that run. My top choice here, and it's not a convincing top choice, it's had a bit of a push, number 7, Santiago's Pride. Caden Brewer takes a ride. These are my reasons. Wayo Mowing with a long-distance horse, draw 1 blinkers for the first time, and steadily improving. We'll learn a lot about Shosanada later on in the day, but he absolutely doddled up at his penultimate start. There's been 0 from that form line, but his last start, at least from a deep draw, was a pleasing step forward behind Robert Browning. So all those reasons, I give number 7, Santiago's Pride, my winning selection. But as I said, there are lots in here with chances. Backup coming in the form of number 1 on the card, and also 8, Another Universe, and also, as mentioned, Pyro Edition. Number 1, Moment, ran a better race last time behind Storm Ahead. He is what he is. He is a professional maiden. Jason Gates is on board. His last run just fills me with a little bit of confidence coming back from a break. He was running so often, so obviously that break has done him a world of good. And I just think that the fresh legs approach with number 1, Moment, probably just helps the cause. As mentioned, I've got the scratching number 3, The Merciful, lurking around in my play, but no point talking about him. 8, Another Universe, wherever Santiago's Pride is Another Universe, ought to be somewhere on the premises as well. There was only 3 parts of a length between them when they met behind Robert Browning. He is, like Santiago's Pride, bred to go this trip and more, being by Ideal World out of a Fortwood mare. In fact, interestingly enough, the relation is the Lucky Vidalakis horse. They're not half brothers, but there is a cross in the family, the Celtic cross, and the mother of Green Cherry and Cherry Ridge, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a little bit of a dynamic there. But number 8, Another Universe, also just has that look like he's coming to hand as well. So a lot of them with chances. There's even a little bit of support for number 10, Light in the Storm, who I don't have in my bipod. It would probably be wise to put him into the pick 6, though. Change of yard. Who knows if he can improve over this trip? He doesn't look like he's bred for this trip, but Tyron Zaki can get them to stay. So the most complicated race on the card, of that there's no doubt.
Yeah, race number 3 certainly going to be a tricky start of the pick 6, but hopefully you can find a bit of value, and race number 3 can provide you with a nice result. Race number 4, maiden plate fillies and mares, 2,000 meters the distance, and it is 2:10, the off time for the 4th race. It's another race that's certainly not going to take a lot of winning, and here your favorite is Instant Attraction at 16-10, 3-1 Gloria Mundi, 9-2 Cape City Lights, it's 5-1, and Better Ball those. Plum Blossom is scratched. Now, as I mentioned to you off air that this is one of the plays for me on the day, and Instant Attraction She ran against the boys last time out, and we'll see that form line to the 4 in the previous race with Santiago's Pride and that horse from the Adam Azzi yard, Another Universe. And I think given that those two horses run in a far stronger race, I think that this filly is going to be very hard to beat, stepping up to a distance that I think will suit her.
I think, Raheel, you're spot on. I've got two horses in the bar, but they're 6 and 7. But instant attractions related to a long-distance horse trained by Ashley Fortune called Unda Trois, who was at her best over 1.5 miles, over 2,400 meters. So step up in distance is going to be a big benefit. Trent Mayhew, as I always say, is well worth his 2.5 kilo claim. He rides for his dad, Craig. If the Robert Browning form is justified a race earlier, that will enhance the chances of number 6, Instant Attraction. And when you look around and you make the dangers, an 11-start maiden in the form of Quello K and a 9-start maiden in the form number 7, Gloria Mundi, then you know that Instant Attraction just sticks out here. So I agree, she is a top choice. Backup comes from number 7, Gloria Mundi. First run for the yard last time was her best. It was in a weak work rider's maiden when well beaten by Arctic Vixen, but there's no reason why she can't step forward from that. I don't know if stepping forward is going to be enough for her to beat number 6, Instant Attraction, but the play here is going to be, I'm actually going to go straight line exactas, 6 and 7, both into the bar pot, hoping to double up.
That's race number 4. Moving along to race number 5, 1400 meters. It's the graduation plate. 14:47 is the off time. It is the start of jackpot 2. Favorite number 8, Musical Score, 13-10. Fire Attack at 18-10. 11-2. Number 9, Choice Sonata at 7-1. And Better Bar those. Now, this horse, Musical Score, he clearly ran above his rating last time out, but not handed a penalty for that. He was a length, just under a length and a half behind Moonlight Trader, which meant he finished in front of Fire Attack. And yeah, I know that Fire Attack was having his comeback run and would have needed the out in Alistair, but I think that this horse, Musical Score, can confirm that for me. He is a kg better off at the weight as well.
You know what a good run that was from Musical Score in the Betway Grand Beck. From that draw where he was, fastest 400 to finish. I've chatted to the connections after that run. They were, look, obviously bit sort of stiff-lipped that he didn't run into the top 4 and get a little bit of small black type for the pedigree. But from that draw, from where he was, and I mean, Raymond did nothing wrong. He had to drop him in from that draw with where he was over 1,400 meters, and they were very, very pleased with the run. I know Lucky Hudolakis has got some exciting things planned for number 8, Musical Score. I know that he kept his options opened as well for various races of late, and he settled here for a graduation going into the Tony Ruffle, which has now got the green light stakes at the start of 2025. So yes, very, very nice horse indeed. He's heading in the right direction. As you say, the 1 kilo swing with Fire Attack is going to be a benefit, and I'm very interested in a lot of these 3-year-olds. Musical Score, my top choice. My backup comes from the nursery winner, number 5, Fire Attack. This, I'm told, is a prep run going into the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas on the 14th of December, where he holds an entry. You can see that his last run was just a comeback run. It was a pleasing comeback run as well. It was a messy race. If you look at the conditions of the Grand Beck, those out of the top 4 couldn't get a penalty. Fire Attack. You say that the Musical Store ran above his rating. Fire Attack ran below his rating, so I think it's a very difficult race to gauge, and historically it's not a very easy horse to get to get a line on. There have been some weird winners of the Grand Beck Stakes in the past, and the conditions of the race kind of, or where the placement of the race rather, kind of suits those horses that are fit rather than prepping for races like the Dingans or the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas. But Fire Attack, there's no doubt he's the most decorated horse in the race, and he's just worthy of a lot of respect. The other 3-year-old, 7, Don't Cry For Me, pleasing last run as well in the Grand Beck. I can't see him turning it around with Fire Attack and Musical Score, but he's a nice horse all the same. And Schwarzenegger, I mean, to the eye, he was so impressive when winning his maiden last time out. Now he actually takes on race horses, so it's going to be a lot harder. But if he were to come out of this on the other side with a win, oh, goodness knows where he'll fit in with the Joburg 3-year-old, because we know nothing about him. He could be very, very, very good, or it could be that he just took on no opposition last time out. So in pick 6s, put him in number 9, Schwarzenegger. But 5 and 8, they'll settle for that in the bar pot.
Yeah, that's race number 5. Number 9, no doubt the interesting horse in this race after he romped home to victory last time out. Moving along to race number 6. This is set to be run over the 2,400 meter trip. 3:20 is the off time. It's an MR 76 handicap. And here you can scratch numbers 1 and 6, so it's reduced to a field of 7 runners. Number 2 and 5 are joint favorites at 28 to 10, 4 to 1 Storm Ahead, Royal Mazarin, 11 to 2 Master TikTok, 7 to 1 Teo Toriate, and then 12 to 1 Ideal Future. What's your thoughts here, Alistair? How many horses needed?
2 needed for me, and I agree with the betting balls here, Raheel, with numbers 2 and 5, To the Rescue and Nuclear Force. The weights on the last run to Douglas Dragon tell me that To the Rescue will turn the form around with Nuclear Force, but I'm just so weary with To the Rescue. He's one of the most beautiful horses running in the country anyway. He is such a good-looking son to give me the green light. When you look at him, you'll say, this is just a classic horse. He's got to be feature race material, and look at him. Oh, he is so frustrating. Cabello Mazzaniani takes her out. I think Sean Terry's just hopefully building his confidence by just starting him again at a low level and just gradually building up out of a fantastic mare, #YOLO, who KZN fans will remember fondly. Who knows what trip he wants, because he runs like he can go around Turffontein 3 times, but he doesn't really perform like he's got any type of trip. But the last one was encouraging enough. The 2 scratching is going to help the cause with the draw. He now comes at 7 out of 7, which is no train smash over 2-4 at the Vaal. I think number 2, To the Rescue's probably got his best chance of getting his second career win under the belt, and I think with a win he could go on a bit of a streak, number 2, To the Rescue. I think that he's better than a 75 when he realises that himself. Backup comes for number 5, Nuclear Force's last run just puts him in. He was probably unlucky as well. He came out slowly. Calvin Habib takes her out for Erico Verdenese. Erico always underappreciated and overachieves. Nuclear Force, just his penultimate run, I don't know what happened there. He was just not striding out. He was slow away, but he is often slow away, so I'm not sure that that's the only excuse. He's obviously better than that. He also might have needed that run. It is his peak effort, and I've got all the time in the world for him. So I'm happy to hold it to 2 horses, and I'm happy to hold it to 2 horses and all exotics as well in the pick 6-2.
Yeah, that's 2 and 5 there in race number 6. Moving along to race number 7X. This is an MR66 handicap over 1800 meters. 15:55 is the off time. And your favorite is number 2, Guy Alexander at 2 to 1. Caliburn at 2 to 1 as well. Flag Bearer 33 to 10. It's in 7 to 1. And Better Bar those. Now, Alistair, when having a look at this race, it's not a race that's going to set the blood running through veins, but yeah, this was Global Impact. I know he's been disappointing, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had to come up and run into trifectas and quartets at 20 to 1, because it is quite a step down in class for him on his overall form.
Yeah, he's better than anyone in this race. I actually make him a run. He's got a bit of the Diwali rockets about him. When we found him just the other day at Turffontein at the end of the Charity Mile meeting, I think it was. Look, he's not a horse that I think you can punt, but he's definitely a horse that you need to include. His rating has come down. As you say, he's met miles stronger than this, and trained by a Shruti in the form of Lorenzo Karim and owned by a Shruti in the form of Mano Pandaram. So I've got time for number 1, Global Impact. My top choice here is easily number 4, Caliburn. He's a 1-time winner from 28 starts, so I think that tells you how confident one needs to be, and the answer to that is not very, but maybe the way to go here is swingers numbers 1 and 4. I'll tell you why I like Caliburn on every conceivable piece of collateral form. Caliburn has got every horse in this field held. 7th of September finished in front of Flag Bearer and Rainy Season, and is miles better off with them. On the 19th of September finished just behind Flag Bearer and Guy Alexander, comes in much better weighted than those 2 horses. 10th of October finished just behind Guy Alexander, finished 3 lengths behind Guy Alexander, comes in here about 5 kilos better off. That's going to make him a live chance. 22nd of October, you know what I'm getting at, and again on the 2nd of November, he's got them all held here. So number 4, Caliburn, his best chance to get a second career win. He's under-delivered. He does need a certain type of ride. You've got to ride him quietly, but Chase Morjan's ridden him well before. And like I said, I'm actually going to take swingers here, numbers 1 and 4.
That's 1 and 4 in race number 7, and plenty of value with number 1, Global Impact. Moving along to race number 8, final race on the day. It's an MR80 handicap over 1600 meters. 4:30 is the off time. And your favorite in the last race is number 2, Bacchus at 13 to 10, 5 to 1, number 8, Hammy's Hero. Number 4, New Mexico, who was costly to follow last time out when backed off the boards but just failed to deliver. And Red Legend 10 to 1, also 12 to 1, and Better Bar those. Now, this horse Bacchus here and second to Heather's Boy last time out, that was a cracking performance, and that horse that ran third in the race did come through to win. The name escapes me Safe Space, I think it is, and he won just last week. And I see this horse, Heather's Boy, has got quite a few entries going forward.
Yeah, and I believe that he's also qualified to run in the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas. We'll know a lot more after this show flights. But and also, if you believe that Bacchus and Heather's Boy were miles clear of Safe Space, who ran third, in fact, the form that enhances things more. Here, Stratum takes Saradi. The only thing that gets me here, Raheel, is that it's down the Vaal mile straight. And as we know, plenty top horses have tried and have failed. I think he's got the game for it because he settles, he's not headstrong, and he's got the right jockey for it. But there's always that niggle in the back of one's mind, how they're going to handle the Vaal mile straight. So although easily the horse to beat, although probably the best horse in the race, and although likely feature race material, if you believe Heather's Boy's feature race material, then Bacchus ought to be as well. There's just that little disclaimer that applies. The same applies to number 8, Hammy's Hero, first time down the Vaal mile straight. He more than likely has the game for it, but he's drawn on the wrong side of the course. I thought his local debut was good, moved up a winner, just outrun late by Do It With Diamonds. There was a lot to like about that run from Hammy's Hero, so if he can handle the Vaal mile straight, then he should be somewhere on the scene as well. But I'm going to throw a complete lunatic quartet selection at you. Number 5, Stormy Winter, to run into the top 4. You might think I've lost the plot.
I can have that for sure.
Yes, last run was better. He's an absolute course specialist. 5 of his 7 career wins have come down the Vaal straight. I promise you this horse is alive for a top 4. It's difficult to motivate a horse to win the race with what he's been showing, but he's come down from a once high 95 to a 74, and he showed off a 75 last time, that he might not be too far away from another win. You'll probably find his next win could be his last win, with how he just dropped the bundle of late. I think he's needed his runs back as well. Top 4 chance only. I'm not going to get carried away, but 2 and 8, the most interesting horses, and then for quartets, 5, 6, I think even 11, 12, and 13 also need to go. And also number 4, New Mexico, obviously. I think there's probably about half the field that you can eliminate here, thankfully.
Alyssa tends to find these roughies in the final race on the day, and they often arrive. So with this horse, number 5, Stormy Winter, at 40 to 1 in the market, he could just be the value in the race. And Jason Gates, well, he's a man that's been improving a lot of horses of late, and perhaps Stormy Winter could be another that shows big improvement on Thursday. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now, and Alistair will take us through his suggested bet for racing on Thursday. So, Alistair, take it away.
25 past 12 is when the bar pot gets underway. I've opened up with 2 horses, numbers 6 and 10, Pantera Uncia, and my one and only Babanki, number 5, Bourbon Reserve, the best bet on the card. Race 3, the hardest race on the card. I got 1 Moment, the scratchy, number 3, the Merciful, 7, Santiago's Pride, 8, Another Universe, and 13, Pyro Edition. By 6 and 7, Instance Traction and Gloria Mundi. Then by 5 and 8, that's the most interesting race on the card, Fire Attack and Musical Score. And then 2 horses to end, numbers 2 and 5, To the Rescue and Nuclear Force. And for the Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge, Caliburn race 7. I'll probably lean towards Bacchus on the last race, but Stormy Winter top 4. Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say you should probably put Stormy Winter in the last race. I mean, if that has to come through, that will no doubt drop a lot of players. But Alistair, thanks very much. Looking forward to the meeting now after chatting to you, and hopefully we've managed to guide the guys in the right direction.
Yep, thanks, Raheel. As always, great chatting to you, and looking forward to catching up soon.
All the best with racing on Thursday.